everyone. This will be a video of me reorganizing my shelves. Yesterday, as of filming this, I went to Target and got a new shelf, which that would be this shelf right here. So with that shelf added, I now have a total of 5 shelves in my room. And it's a little bit insane. It doesn't seem like that many should fit in my room, but they do somehow. But as you can see right now, this shelf is not fully, I guess, it's mostly put together. I just have to actually put the shelves in. So like I said, I got that shelf yesterday. Me and my sister put it together last night, and I left it so that I could kind of deal with it more in this video. So I don't know exactly what my plan for this video is. I just know that you will see me, I guess, kind of redo my shelves, because I got this new shelf because I wanted to make my shelves more of a display, if that makes sense. Like, I want a lot more of my collections to maybe look like how my NCT collection looks. So I want things, I guess, a little bit more spread out. I want to be able to show things better instead of just only really being able to like see the spines and stuff of albums. I just want to make things more, I don't know, I guess more exciting and pleasing to look at. But with that said, you can kind of see my setup here. So I obviously have the 3 shelves here, and then I have another shelf right over here in the corner. And my plan with that one is that I actually plan to move these 2 shelves over a bit so that there's obviously no gap right there. And then it should be so that this shelf in the corner here does not overlap with this one right here. So the old white shelf that I had, actually, it is over here on this wall now. And my plan for this shelf is basically just, I guess, for my books, just because I have a lot of books and they didn't really fit on my smaller shelf. So I figured I could put most of my books over here. So I guess back over here, I don't really know exactly how I plan to go about doing this, but I guess you'll see. This might be a long process because, like I said, I just don't really know exactly what I'm doing, because I also have to figure out, I guess, the best course of action for moving these shelves. And I would prefer if I didn't have to take everything off, but obviously I kind of have to. So anyways, with that said, I think I'm gonna get started. I'll show you the absolute mess that is this area. So over here is where I have like all my books and stuff, and it's where everything that was on my white shelf before is now. So that's just a huge mess that I have to deal with. So I'm thinking I should probably organize my books first, just for the sake of getting that stuff out of the way. I started to do a little bit of organization to my actual bookshelf. I kind of gave up for now because I have a lot. Too much, actually, and I just don't know exactly what I want to do. I just have a lot, and I'd like to keep these shelves intact in some way because I like to display my favorite books. So yeah, I just figured it'd be best if I just leave this for a different time. Alright, so I just put the shelves on my new shelf, and I tried to put it on the same like rungs as my other shelf. So these 2 shelves, this one and this one, they're both relatively the same, although not quite. They're both from Target, they're both the same brand. Their measurements are almost entirely the same. This one is a little bit taller than this one, but generally they're the same, so like 95% the same. And you can tell, but yeah, so this is how this one will look. And the only thing about this is that I messed up a little bit. You can't really see it because it's so dark, but I guess you can kind of see it like right there. I put the nails in wrong and it messed up a little bit. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get started putting stuff on this shelf. I think I'm gonna make this top shelf my Hotshot shelf. I might actually change around the placement of the shelves themselves because I don't need that much space for just Hotshot stuff. So I don't know, because see, for NCT I need a lot of height because some of their albums are really tall. So, but a lot of Hotshot's albums are pretty small. So I guess I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. I'm back, finished redoing my shelves. So I have all 5 of my shelves like fully organized. Everything's put away now. And I'm showing you this shelf just because I don't want to spoil any of my, I guess, actual K-pop shelves while I talk to you. But so I finished yesterday. I know that means nothing to you in this whole timeline, but I started on Tuesday and then I finished yesterday, which was Wednesday night. So now I'm filming this on Thursday morning. That's where we're at. But I did finish, obviously, and I intended to film, you know, the whole organization process. I got in the middle of it and I just kind of started getting a little bit upset because things just weren't working out the way that I wanted them to, and it was a lot of work, and so I just stopped filming. I don't know if you'll see the little bit of footage that I have of me organizing, but even if you do, it's really not that much. So yeah, so I just decided to do my own thing, take my time, and not worry about filming it. So I apologize if that's something you wanted to see, but it just wasn't working out, so I decided not to do it. But with that said, I think I am overall pretty happy with the outcome. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start showing you everything. I think I will start with my bookshelf just because this is the first time I've had an entire shelf dedicated to just being able to just display my entire book collection. So yeah, that's just what this looks like. I have a lot of favorites at top, but yeah, we have my 2 favorite series, and this will obviously look different once I'm not reading those books, but yeah, so we have this. I didn't have anywhere to put these, so I just stuck them there. Those are not mine, but yeah, this is just what that looks like. I have a lot of my books from childhood and just some more books, and then the last shelf is just albums I'm selling. That's the only place I really found that I could fit them. So alright, so here's now what we want to see. I apologize if the lighting is bad. It is what it is. But I guess we'll start at the top. So this is where I have my Hojung signed page and my Hojung Polaroid, my Hotshot paper dolls, my Attention light stick, my old Hojung Season's Greetings, and then my Sungwoon fan kits. This is just my Hotshot shelf. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like this. This is the only shelf where I have these like holder thingies for my albums, like signed stuff, and I don't know if I either want to get more or just not have them at all. And I'm probably gonna move Sungwoon stuff off the shelf eventually. I just haven't gotten there yet. So here is my Attention shelf. So I have the albums here in a really weird order, but I don't know, it's really weird because I have them in release order, but just depending, I guess, on what stack they're in. I don't know, it's weird, but you can see that I have my Polaroids with them right there, and I don't know if I want to keep those there. I might move them just so I can see the display better, I guess, but I just have my 3 signed albums stood up in the back. My other light stick is back there, so I know you can't really see it, but it's like the shelf is kind of narrow, so it's a little bit harder to, I guess, come up with like a full nice display. But I mean, I still think this looks pretty nice, but I wouldn't be surprised if I changed it around sooner rather than later. So then moving down, we just have my 101 solo shelf. I actually don't mind this. I decided to separate solos from like post 101 groups, so those are somewhere else. But I definitely do not hate the way this is set up, just because I do have more stuff coming for, you know, like Jihoon and Jaehwan and Daniel, so I'll have stuff added to the shelf, so it won't look so bare for long. But I had to make Sungwoo's album sideways because it wouldn't have fit on the shelf otherwise. But yeah, the next shelf is like I said, basically just my post 101 groups shelf. So I just have AB6 and CIX, and then I also did just add 1W to this shelf because their album is rather big, so it just fit there pretty nice, and I think I'll keep them there as long as I can. Yeah, I think I like how I have this because I'm able to display my signed AB6 album and I guess my signed CIX album, but I guess finding a good way to store my AB6 albums was kind of like a priority, because I feel like it can be hard to make it look nice because of they're also like bulky and they're just like all the same size, so it's a bit harder. But that is this shelf, and then my last shelf is my 101 shelf, and I normally do not put any type of album or merch on the absolute bottom shelf, but I actually really like this because I just prefer to have 101 at the bottom of my shelves, because if I have them at the top, I don't like it very much. I just like having the top of my shelves reserved for groups that are more or less active and for collections that are like gonna grow more. So obviously this collection is entirely finished, so it just makes more sense for me to have it on the bottom. But I think this looks pretty nice. I stacked all of the albums up on top of each other. I figured that would work since the shelf is pretty tall, and I even had room to kind of add their light stick in at the end here, which is nice because I usually display light sticks at the top of my shelves, but I wasn't sure I really loved it where it was, and I felt like it kind of didn't fit with anything I had up there, like with the displays I had up there. So yeah, I like this a lot better, especially because there's more room for, you know, like the bigger items, and I don't necessarily have to stack them because I never really liked how I didn't really have to before I didn't have them stacked, but there was one point where I did have them stacked and I wasn't in love with that, but I like this. So we can move on to my next shelf now. Alright, so here is my next shelf, and this is kind of the display I came up with. So I just kept my NCT like summer packages and what's it called, season's greetings up there, and I will always have this somewhere on display on my shelves just because it was a gift from one of my teachers in high school, so I obviously want to keep it because it's special to me in that way. But I also added 101's season's greetings from 2019. I wanted to have it displayed, but obviously the month being up there kind of threw me off, so I just added this. I did take this down for a while, but decided it wouldn't hurt to put it back up, and I added Haechan up there, so adds a little bit of variety. But moving on, this whole entire shelf is basically my NCT shelf. So on this first shelf, I just have 1 to 7 basically. I wanted to try to display the Regulate albums and at least my Taeyong version of Chain, and I actually think I like this for the most part. It was hard for me to come up with something, I guess, really good to do with this display, but I think overall it's pretty nice because you can see both Yuta and Taeyong, and yeah, everything is just there. So moving on. Down here I made this my NCT Dream and Wavy and Super M shelf. So I used to have 1 to 7 and Dream together, but I figured it'd probably be best if I separated 1 to 7 just because I have the most stuff for them as compared to any other, I guess, NCT unit or anything like that. So I figured it'd be best if I just split it out, and I actually like how I did this. I think it looks pretty nice. I just have Dream stuff here obviously, and I put JNO's The Dream on display. And then we have Wavy in the middle and Super M on the end. So yeah, and I have room at the end there just because I would like to see what Super M's new album is going to look like before I really do anything there. But moving down, this is more of a display shelf, so I just have a lot of their bigger photo books and stuff, plus that like little selfie book. But I also have the calendar for the season's greetings, and then I have the Empathy album there as well. I've always struggled with where to put the Empathy album because it never really had a good place, but I think it fits there pretty well. And then since it is August, it is Taeyong's month. I'm sorry you can't see that very well, but moving down, this is just my CD collection of a 48 group, and then just my my Western faves, I guess. And then we have my vinyl collection down here. I decided to keep these two shelves intact because I think they fit there best. So, and I guess if you're interested at all, I did do a vinyl collection video a while ago, so I'll link that if you want to go watch it. But here's a look at all the ones I have. But yeah, like I said, this is basically my NCT shelf, and I actually really enjoy it. It gives NCT a lot of room to grow, and we all know that they will be growing a lot. So alright, so next is basically my girl group shelf. I struggled with the display at the top here a little bit, but I think this looks pretty nice. So what I have is just some Dia Make Star stuff, and I decided to display my signed Roland album up there. Polaroids. This is just a picture of me, which you won't see, and I really wanted to make sure I could display this picture of Hojong just because I love it so much, so I decided to stick it there. But yes, moving down, my alt girl groups are up higher. It's always easier to store Brave Girls and CLC's albums by stacking them, and I know this doesn't look the best, but it's what I can do for right now. And I also have my Girl Kind signed album in the middle there just to kind of fill the space. Moving down, we have my Dia and IZ*ONE shelf. Dia, I always keep my display basically the same. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same as it always is. Same with, I guess, IZ*ONE. I like to keep their albums more compact and together just because I feel like the display overall will look nice. I did want to be able to display my signed Chan album, but I didn't have enough room, so it's fine. But anyways, moving down, then we have ITZY and Red Velvet. There's not really much I can do with my ITZY collection just because there's only 2 releases, and I do have their new album on the way, but it's just not out yet, so that's why I have extra room there. But I wanted to do something more special with my Red Velvet collection just because I feel like there's a lot of potential with a display. Yeah, so I decided to bring out the Summer Magic album and display that. And then I wanted to display my Joy version of the Reva Festival. And yeah, I think overall it looks pretty nice. I don't have any plans to get the Solreen album just because I listened to it and wasn't super into it. So there won't be anything added to this for a while at least, but I think for now it looks nice. And then moving down, we have my Twice shelf. So I just kept this as I usually have it, I guess, just because there's not really anything special I can do with it. So I don't have anything that's really needed for display. I just kept it like that, especially because I have a lot of albums too, and I don't really want it to move on to a separate shelf. So this is what we're at. Okay, and then down here, lighting down here especially sucks, and I apologize for that, but this is just my, I guess, JBJ and UNB shelf. Yeah, this is just where I have all of JBJ related things and UNB stuff. I might move JBJ 95 eventually just because once they release a new album, there won't be any room for them there. I don't know exactly where they'll go. This is just how things are for now. I wanted to make sure I could display my signed UNB and JBJ albums, so yeah, this is where they belong. And then the bottom shelf is just where I keep my binders and such. Not all of them are there right now, but it's where I keep them. And this is the same as it was before. I didn't add anything new here. So this is like my last shelf. Well, obviously this is just the wall above it, but this is kind of the display. I kept this the same, but yeah, so here's the shelf. The top just has my record player and just some other things. Those aren't important, but moving down, we have New East and We in the Zone and Impact on top. I still wanted to make sure I could display some more of my favorite group stuff, and this is what I came up with. I apologize that it's really hard to see, but I'm eventually gonna have to do something here because I do have New East's new album on the way. And then the next shelf is just Pentagon, IOI, X1. We have Unity, 100%, and Shia, Big Star, and H&D. So this is kind of a random shelf. It's all just kind of stuff that I don't consider a part of my main collection, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm not really actively collecting any of these groups. For this stack, I just decided to go in size order because that seemed best. It'll give me, like, I guess, a way to store other things if need be. So it also keeps these albums up because it's hard to keep them stood up for some reason. So then my last shelf down here is basically just, I guess, all the stuff that I don't collect actively, and this is in size order. So I stacked this up here because the whole shelf obviously all of this wouldn't have fit on the shelf if I didn't do that. It also works out nicely because most of it is like the box packaging and it's quite bulky. And then I guess if you're curious, just for right now, I have stuff stored here. So I do actually have stuff stored behind there, I guess in between the wall and this shelf here. But I also just have some extra posters and boxes. This is where I keep like merch stuff, like I guess boxes for merch and like packaging for merch and stuff. And then I keep all my trade and sale letters in here. The box is almost full, so but yeah, then I have my CD holders and stuff like that. So yeah, it feels nice to kind of have this area because I did not have, I guess, anywhere specific to put any of these things before. So okay, yeah, so that was actually the end of this video. I'm sitting on the floor and don't feel like standing up, so this is what you'll see for the outro. I apologize, but I didn't wake up that long ago and I'm so tired. But that was everything for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.